Ceann Comhairle, I'd like to raise the issue of a number of my constituents, and many of my deputies here in the House have similar constituent issues. I've just heard the Minister relay that Cohort 7 would be revised. I am slightly concerned, Minister, as to who is actually putting the list together. And the reason for that is that I have so many constituents with very serious underlying conditions making representation to me to represent it to you on their behalf, and I have not been able to get any form of clarification. So I'm going to tell you about Enda. Enda's 16 years old, but he's severely autistic. Enda has 3 siblings and his mother and father, who all live in the same house. They haven't had a night's sleep since in this year. Not one full night's sleep. Enda normally awakens for the whole of the nighttime period. He has had his whole world turned upside down because he doesn't see his carer, he doesn't go to his facility, they have no respite, and effectively this is one whole family and their carer who are being discommoded with absolutely no clarity on whether, as a 16-year-old, he will be vaccinated, given that they have said that there won't be vaccinations for under 18s, but the fact that he has a severe intellectual autistic condition means that he interacts, they need the interaction of his carer, his SNAs, and where will that leave them as a family? That's Enda. I have Walter. He's 40 years old. Walter lives on his own. He's had 2 transplants, 2 kidney transplants, and Walter drives himself for dialysis 3 days a week. He doesn't see his parents or his brother. He can't go to the shop, and particularly since the RTE programme the other night, where we had COVID sufferers tell us that they could only point to the fact that they picked it up in the shop. Walter's life is severely, severely limited. He needs clarity at 40 years of age on how, and his whole life has been surrounding limitations, but this is a particularly terrible, terrible time in that he cannot even see his family. I also have the mental health services in Wexford telling me that the wetlands unit, which takes care of, it's a residential unit and it takes care of 5 adults, they have no clue. I asked as late as last night if they had been notified. I received an email this morning, no. No notification for the health frontline workers in wetlands as to whether or when they will be vaccinated. I have Leah. Leah is 26 years old and Leah is Down syndrome. Sometimes she suffers with different things that may put Leah in hospital. But ultimately she's at home with her family, who are her primary carers, none of which are eligible for a vaccine based on the rollout on the age profile. I'm asking about Leah. Could we have some clarity? But most of all, I'm asking about the family carers. I heard Jane Johnston this morning, whose son has returned on rota basis of every second week to his services. It is of the utmost relief. She was in tears this morning, both worried as to how he will get along and also the fact that she has no capacity to know when he will be vaccinated or those around him. I just ask and I plead for these people who are suffering psychologically, Ceann Comhairle, psychologically, as to when they will have some form of relative normality for what is normally a very, very difficult situation for these families. I just ask for some clarity on the rollout. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy.
And again, sorry, Ceann Comhairle, I don't know if my colleague Michael has arrived, so the Minister can answer. I don't think Michael Lowry is here. Thank you, Ceann Comhairle.
I'm just going to answer the question in relation to the mental health deputy. So all residents aged 65 years and older within registered nursing homes, disability residential care facilities and mental health residential care facilities have been offered vaccination. In relation to the mental health staff, some of them did come under cohort 2, but the AstraZeneca rollout now includes all the mental health staff and everyone is encouraged to apply on the portal.